Good evening and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about the roadmap for World of Warcraft Midnight. At least Season 1, because we only know what's going to happen till Season 1. After Season 1, Season 2, that's of course a big mystery. But for Season 1, I think I have pretty much everything covered. You might have seen this picture here on my social media. I am pretty much posting a lot of things on social media all the time, but I thought it was, worth to also make a quick video about it, since, it's important to know what's going to happen. So let's go through the roadmap we can see right here, and I will explain what you are seeing. So on the 19th of January, Legion Remix is going to end, and also the War Within Season 3. So that basically means Legion Remix, all your characters you have in Season Remix will be converted to the War Within characters, so no more Legion Remix for you. And the War Within Season 3, which is ending there, means there's not going to be any ranked PvP anymore, there's not going to be any Mythic Plus anymore. It's basically going to be a relaxing time. You know what I mean? Like, there's not going to be any rank thing we need to push. It's basically where Blizzard is telling you, take a break. Relax. You did well. Now it's time to relax. But then, the day after, on the 20th of January, Midnight Pre-Patch is launching, which means we are getting class changes, so all the big changes that is happening for all the classes and specs. Basically, if you're looking at Blood Death Knight, who is losing half their spells, and, Enhancement Shaman that is actually becoming playable, a lot of different stuff. That is happening on the 20th. So that's basically where you log in and you test all the different specs if you don't have the beta. And then you could, kind of like find out which spec and, character do you like to actually play. Then we're also getting some UI updates where you can actually have the damage meter in the game and you can see the boss encounters in the game. A lot of things that Weak Aura used to do can now be done inside the game, with the default UI. And then on the 20th, I've also set system prep. Basically, what that means is basically they're switching the game to midnight, which means we're going to be getting stat squish. So all your stats is going to be lowered again. So we don't have like 100 million of HP, like on Legion Remix, if you know what I mean. And, just a lot of like back-end things is going to be shifted over. So it's more like it's also a way for Blizzard to finally see if it all works when all the 9 million players actually gets their hands on. Then, on the 27th of January, that's when it actually becomes fun. The Midnight Pre-Patch event starts, which means you will go to Twilight Highlands, and over there will be a quest where it will invite you to Twilight Highlands. And in Twilight Highlands, there's going to be like a little 20-minute quest line you're going to do, and then basically the entire map in Twilight Highlands is going to be spawning rare mobs. There's going to be world quests, a lot of things, and every time you do all these things, which you can do all the time, there's no downtime over there. You can just keep grinding world bosses all the time. But when you do it, what happens is that it will give you a currency, a new currency, and this currency you can buy catch-up gear for it, which is basically just champion gear. So if you already have full champion gear, there's nothing for you really. I mean, there's also a few housing items and some transmog and toys and stuff like that, but mostly it is for like getting full champion gear before Midnight releases, and also you can unlock the entire Season 3 raid armor. You basically just buy it, the catch-up gear, you go to the catalyst and you upgrade it to raid armor. In the start, it will probably cost a currency, those threads to upgrade it at the catalyst. But a bit later, it will be free. So don't sell the gear, save it, because then you can unlock the full transmog for Season 3 armor, which is super cool. Also, in that zone, there's going to be like world activities, there's going to be like bosses that keep spawning like non-stop. So it's kind of like the War Within when it was about to launch, that we had that pre-event thing where we just could farm bosses like non-stop, like if you remember where we had like those time stuff we could kill. So it's the same here. It's an event that keeps going on. You can keep killing bosses, keep getting currencies, and get full champion gear for all your different classes, which is quite cool. So that is basically you can say the end of the War Within. The 19th January, the 20th, and the 27th. That's like the last things we do in the War Within. Then on the 27th February, which is going to be exciting time, Midnight is going into early access, which means leveling zones are going to be opened, dungeons is going to be open, normal and heroic dungeons, professions is going to be open, exploration is going to be open, but there's going to be no raids, no Mythic 0 or no Mythic Plus. And I've also heard that professions is going to be open where you can actually level them up. But there is some things with professions that is still locked. I can't remember what it is, but because I'm not really like a pro professions, but something that actually gives you a benefit. I don't know if if it's the talent tree or something special. That thing is still like kind of locked till it official release, so everyone has a chance to get that thing. But still, you can do professions, you can get it up and maxing it out. And whenever all the normal players comes in, the people who haven't bought the Epic Edition, then of course you will get a little advantage of having a lot of materials they don't have. But basically, on the 27, we're gonna get early access, which is, a lot of people hate this time. Like when I posted this on Reddit, I saw a lot of people who like complained about we're gonna have 3 weeks where there's gonna be no Mythic Plus or no raids. And honestly, I'm kind of like, I like this. I like this time. Like I like that we can just do heroic dungeons and get the best gear from the heroic dungeons, and complete all the quests in the zone. Kind of basically complete 100% of the quests. It's just like a good time. It's just like a really relaxing time where no one is in a rush. Everyone is just having like a good time. I personally love it. Then on the 2nd March, the official launch is on, and everyone can now go in. So that basically means all the players gain access, and you have the full leveling experience is unlocked. So I mean, you kind of also had that like with the early access, but now on the 2nd March, everyone can come in, you can level to max level, you can get good gear from heroic dungeons, and you can start your professions, completing different achievements, blah, 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 blah. Very casual MMO experience. Then, now comes the end game. On the March of 17, Voidspire Raid is opening up the Raid Finder Wing 1 and also the normal and heroic difficulty. At the same time, we are also getting Dreamdrift Raid, which is opening up with Raid Finder, normal and heroic. And before you say, hey, wait, are we getting 2 raids at the same time? What the hell is going on? I mean, why are they like giving us so much content at the same time? Well, before you complain, whoops, that was myself. Before you complain, actually, if you go in here and you look in the raid manual here, you can see what I said here on the images. We're getting Voidspire and Dreamdrift. Dreamdrift is a raid with one single boss. It is one boss. Kind of like, back in, what was that expansion with the Nagas? Where we had to fight that old god. Battle for Azeroth, I believe. Wasn't it Battle for Azeroth? I think it was Battle for Azeroth. You're probably all sitting and yelling at your screen saying, yeah, it was Battle for Azeroth. So basically, in Battle for Azeroth, we were basically fighting, I think, no, it wasn't this one here. You know what I mean. Like, there was that raid where you would just fight, like, one big fish in some kind of, like, place. I can't remember what it's called now. This is getting embarrassing. Okay, but never mind. So there was this, place here where you would go down in the water and you would basically kill that fish down there, which was something we did in one of the old expansions. I honestly can't remember. Wow, that's so embarrassing. Whatever. You're probably gonna spam in my comment section about which one it was, but it was basically you went down, you went into this raid here, you killed this big fish, you killed some little boss before, and then you went in to kill the very big fish, where it was kind of also Salataf had some kind of lore in it as well, but basically it's a one boss raid, the Dreamdrift raid. But then also you might be saying, okay, but what about the other raid? What about the other raid, the Voidspire? Well, the Voidspire actually, now that you ask, is a raid that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bosses. Again, it's a small raid compared to if you look at the raid we got with the War Within Manifold to make it the current one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's eight bosses. So basically now we're getting one raid with one boss at the same time, and we're getting a second raid with 6 bosses. So it's kind of like only 7 bosses at the same time. But then if you look at this here again, then you of course will see that let's just finish March the 17th first. Then we're also getting Season 1 dungeons, Heroic Seasonal dungeons, Mythic 0 unlocks. So basically what this means here, now you can do the Season dungeons. Normally, when you have the season dungeons, that is four dungeons from the current expansion, and then 4 dungeons that usually people have voted on the forum. Like, some old dungeons that they put into the Mythic queue. And then we're also getting PvP. Season 1 begins, so you will also be able to start grinding PvP rating and stuff like that. And also bountiful delves will probably also unlock here. So, of course, PvP seasons, they can start ahead. Mythic, they still cannot start doing Mythic Plus here, because Mythic Plus will still be able to give you 2 good gear. Like, you would still be able to get way too good gear. So that's why they have locked it here for Mythic 0. Because if they unlocked Mythic Plus here, you will be able to get like a lot of good gear before the Mythic raid actually started. So now let's jump over to March the 24th. Then the Voidspire raid will now unlock Story Mode, Raid Finder Wing 2. Story Mode is basically, I hope they have improved it, but in the War Within right now, it's just where you get a quest, you kill the last boss with some NPCs, and then you get like a crafting item to craft some good items. But I really hope they build on it where we can actually do the entire raid with mobs and maybe even drop some bad gear, but still some gear. But basically, we're getting Story Mode, Raid Finder Wing 2, and Mythic difficulty. So Voidspire raid now is finally getting into Mythic difficulty. And then we also got the Dream Rift raid on Mythic difficulty. And then finally, we're getting Mythic Plus Season 1. So now you can finally start doing Mythic Plus. And a lot of people is complaining about this one here, that they basically have to wait from the 27th February till March 24th before they can actually start doing Mythic Plus. Because a lot of people who play World of Warcraft is actually having Mythic Plus as their main game. So yeah, again, it doesn't bother much for me because I kind of like that period where we have like an entire month where everyone is just like chilling, relaxing, you know what I mean? But yeah, basically that's it. But the most interesting thing is that we're getting Mythic difficulties for both Dream Rift raid and Voidspire raid. So what is, like you have the best skills in the world called, for example, Liquid and Echo. What are they gonna do? Are they gonna start with Dream Rift raid and kill the single boss and then go into Voidspire raid? Or it's gonna be interesting to see which raid are they gonna start with. Are they gonna agree on starting with a raid? Are they gonna like start with different raids? Like it's gonna be really interesting to see which raid are they actually gonna start with when it comes to World First. And then on March 31, we're getting March of Quel'Thanas raid, the 3rd raid in the same season. And that one opens with normal, heroic, mythic. And then we also get Voidspire raid Finder Wing 3, which is the last part. And then on the April 7, we're getting March of Quel'Thanas, the 3rd raid, Story Mode, and Raid Finder. So this is quite interesting because now you might be asking, okay, but what about this other raid here? Like, what does that one have? The 3rd raid we're getting is basically also a very small one. You can see how much of Quel'Thanas. There's also just 2 bosses here, just 2 bosses again. So 2 bosses again. So very, very small raid. Yeah. So in total, we're getting, what is that? That's 6, 7, 8, 9 bosses we're getting for Season 1. But spread out, 9 bosses spread out in 3 different raids. So no, it's not much more bosses than we usually had in the other seasons of expansions. They have just decided to do it in 3 different raids with 3 different stories and 3 different laws. Basically spreading out the story instead of it's all about this raid here. It's from 3 different raids instead, which I kind of like. I like that I can queue up for Dream Rift raid where it's just 1 boss and then I can leave again after the boss and I'm like, yeah, that was fun. Then another time I only maybe have 2 hours to play, then I can queue up for Quel'Thanas and then it's just 2 bosses, so it might take 2 hours again. And then another day where you have a lot of time, you can do Voidspire, which has 6 bosses. So I kind of like what they're doing here. Like, honestly, it seems like a fun way of doing it. But again, the most important thing is 19, everything stops. 20, we get the pre-patch, like all the small fun changes in the game. 27, we got the event where you can farm full champion gear. The 27th February, where we can get in early access only to people who have bought the big edition, the big epic edition. Then the 2nd March, we're getting everyone in. Then the March of 17, we're getting raids. Not Mythic raids, but like the easy mode raids. And then also we're getting Mythic 0, where you can start farming that. And then on the March 24, we are finally getting the Mythic raids and we're getting the Mythic Plus season. But remember, PvP season is starting here, as far as I know so far. It could be changed to over here maybe, but I think it's still just going to be here because the PvP gear you buy is the same as basically Mythic Zero gear. So yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be that. And then of course we have different raids over there. So that is basically the roadmap, the roadmap for the content that we're going to get in the Midnight expansion. And I have double, triple checked all this information here, and it is all confirmed. Basically, the first few dates we have here is all confirmed by the normal Blizzard, and then all the raids and the dungeons is confirmed on a forum post by another Blizzard employee. So all this is pretty much confirmed. And I posted this on my Reddit, and first I had a mistake. I said that Mythic Zero was releasing on the 27th. It's not. It's on the March 17th. So all this information should be 100% correct. But yeah, so let me know, what do you feel about this shuttle here? What do you feel about this roadmap? Are you happy with how it is? I mean, I'm pretty happy. I like that we have 3 weeks where we can literally just have fun, you know, chill, do some heroic dungeons, you know, basically complete the entire expansion, complete all the quests, you know, really learn, you know, where is everything, why is that, and what is happening. And then when we have when we feel home in the next expansion, then the raids and Mythic starts, which I kind of like. But I know, of course, people who are not like me, like a casual one, but they actually play the game because of the competitive, because of the Mythics and all that, they will of course hate this and be like, what am I going to do for 3 weeks? You know, people who doesn't read quest text or doesn't care about the cinematics, you know what I mean? Like people who just like rush through the game to play Mythic Plus or PvP rank. You know what I mean? Like, no harm. Like, I respect everyone who plays the game, but you know, those people will of course have a lot of downtime and be like, what am I gonna do while I wait? So yeah, it is what it is. These dates are in US days. So remember, if you are in Europe like me, most of these days are +1. So that means, you know, basically all the days here you can see is +1 day. Usually this is releasing all the time, like in the mid of the day in the US, and then in Europe it's like 12 a.m. in the evening, especially when it comes to releases like on the 27th February and 2nd March. That is basically just, you know, 12 a.m. If you are in Central Europe, if you are in the UK, it's like 11 p.m. on the same date as that. But, you know, so just remember, this is the US dates, and in Europe, it's just like the day after usually, something like that. But yeah, thanks for watching. This became like a very long video. I just expected to be like 5 minutes, but it actually ended up being 20 minutes of me rambling. But yeah, so this is the schedule, for Midnight, the roadmap. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.